Hi, my name is Nicolette, and my pronouns are she and her, and I am a librarian based in Louisiana. This video is for Bob the Drag Queen. I am very perturbed and very disturbed by some of the comments that were made by Bob in one of his videos in regards to libraries, and I am here to read him. Just kidding. I am a big Bob the Drag Queen fan. I love Bob so much. I watched the season of Drag Race, and I love everything on YouTube. Purse First Impressions, Purse First Productions, amazing. Sibling Rivalry. I love you. I love Monet. Love both of you, and I'm just such a big fan of your work. You're so beautiful, so talented, so smart, and so intelligent, and I just hope one day that I can be as beautiful as a person as you are. So I'm also a Patreon supporter. I've been a Patreon supporter for some time, but I just appreciate all of your content that you put out. With that being said, I just want to address some of the comments that were said about libraries, okay? So I just want to talk about record scratch. I just want to say really quickly, just a disclaimer that these words are my own. These thoughts, these opinions are all things that are said, thought by me. I represent no one. Thank you. How libraries are needed and are important, right? I do also want to preface with the fact that libraries are not perfect. We are not places that are utopias by any means. Libraries deserve critiques. They deserve to be talked about, discussed. They are not perfect places, and I just want to acknowledge that. And I know that better, because I am in the field, and I understand how libraries definitely need to improve. So I just want to start out in that way. I'm not a, totally biased librarian. I understand that the library does deserve critiques. However, I want to say that libraries and library workers have a place in this society because libraries and library workers provide so much information. Our expertise is providing information. And I know that's very, very broad. That's very broad. And it speaks about a lot of different things. But I want to say that libraries and library workers are still connecting people with information and resources. This video is not to totally represent all libraries, all librarians. I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not speaking about every other librarian out there. That's not my place. But I am speaking from the perspective of a librarian, of a person who's been a library worker for a long time. And I just want to reiterate the fact that libraries are important and just demonstrate and illustrate some of those ways so that you kind of understand why libraries are still needed. Libraries provide information, connect people with resources, and like I said, Google is a place where you can go, you can live your best life, you can find out so many things. You can build a house on YouTube by learning things on YouTube, right? However, who is teaching people how to use Google? Who is teaching people how to even use a computer or use a browser? Or not even Google, but things like DuckDuckGo or other resource or other research or search engines that will retrieve information from them. Who is building these resources? Who is the back end of helping develop this metadata and develop these, the user interface and all of that? Who does that? Library workers do that. Library and information professionals do this kind of work. And libraries are important for books, yes, but the idea that librarians and library workers are only book slingers, book jockeys, is very one-dimensional. Librarianship is a very dynamic career. It is something that has many facets. It's not just books. It's, outreach. It's programming. It's public relations. It is being creative, like either with art or being creative as far as like programming, things like that. It's management. People have to manage these branches. People have to make sure that computers are available, that resources are available. So there's so many things that librarians have to do. I'm a public librarian, so I work with the public. If you go to like the public library, I'm that type of librarian. However, there are so many other types of libraries and librarians that I'm not going to speak on. But libraries have developed and they've grown to their places to enrich your life. It's a place where it's one of the only places that you can go and just be. You can go and just study. You can go and just exist. It's one of the places where you don't have to buy anything to be there. You don't have to, pay anything to be in a library, in the libraries in the United States. So it is just one of the very few places that you can still go and just be. Libraries are also places that enrich your life. My life still, especially, even though I'm a library worker, I'm a library user. And so I don't say these things as coming from a place of a position, but also from a place of being a user myself. A popular example is Chance the Rapper. He went to the Chicago Public Library because they had a recording studio and he could record his songs, his like demo songs at the library. So libraries are offering things like recording studios, sewing machines, green screens. People have started their YouTube careers at libraries. People have started, I'm sure there's some people out there who started their drag careers at libraries. If they have access to a sewing machine at the library, they can learn how to sew. Or if they have access to a recording studio at the library, then they can start making their music. So libraries are places that are continuing to bridge the gap between things that people need and things that people don't have, or just things that people would want to be exposed to. So that, I would have never thought about using a sewing machine until my library had one. But now that I've seen it, I've used it, then I want to invest in one for myself. So that's just an example. And there's several other examples too. Libraries have also been deemed as places to kind of fill in where social services have not. And in my opinion, this is not a great idea because librarians aren't trained to do this type of work. I am not a trained social worker. I'm not a trained counselor. I'm not a trained person to fill in for like mental health in the community because that's just not what I'm trained at, right? But, of course, if social workers in community services have this funding and they can, build these programs, of course, they're more than welcome to use the library space, but librarians just are not trained to be those caseworkers and those social workers. But in fact, they have been doing that kind of work. It's just that you don't see it. Library workers don't get that kind of recognition because they're just seen as the library. But they don't get the recognition, they don't get the salaries to do these multiple kinds of jobs. So I said all that to say, to talk about the importance of libraries and how we connect people with information and how we are still very, very much relevant because there's so much misinformation and disinformation out there. We see it all the time, whether it's on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, all of these places, there's misinformation. And librarians are those people who will provide you with resources or connect you with factual, informational references or resources to make sure that you're not putting out fake information, whether it's for your paper, whether it's for your YouTube video, all of it. And we are here. And it's not just computers. It's many other things too. But, things that are even lifestyle based, like Uber and Uber Eats, like some people still need to be taught how to use those things. And even people who use them don't know how to effectively use them. So libraries can teach so many things that, people have had to navigate on their own. You don't have to navigate information on your own. come to the library and talk to us. And if we don't have an answer, we can connect you to somebody who does have that answer to make your life easier. So, I said all that to say that libraries are here to make your life easier and to connect people with information and resources. Bob, I do challenge you. I challenge you to go to the Los Angeles Public Library. The Los Angeles Public Library is a large library system in LA, and they have multiple branches. So feel free to go visit your branch, your local branch, the one that's closest to your house, or you can call them up and say, hey, I'm Bob the Drag Queen, and they're going to be like, Bob the Drag Queen wants to come to the library? Yes. So schedule a day, and just be like Bob the librarian for a day. And you can see all of the services and all of the things that the library has to offer. And, again, I just want to end and say that I love you, and this message is from a place of love and care and also passion from me, because I do believe that libraries are such a good resource that is underutilized for information. And we are here, and we want to be used for your books, for your bestsellers, for your Toni Morrisons, for your James Pattersons, for, whatever you want to read. But we are also available for information literacy and providing so many other resources as well. So I look forward to seeing you as Bob the librarian for a day. And again, I just want to end and say that I do realize and acknowledge that libraries have work to do. This is not by any means a campaign to say that libraries are utopias or that libraries are perfect. That is not what I'm saying. So anyway, if you have any questions, Bob, please, I would love if you reached out to me, but you can reach out to any librarian or any library that you know, and hopefully you will get a great experience at the library. Thank you, Bob. Bye.